Talk about how hungry I am right now, but I don't know what's open on campus because it's like after spring break and I don't know what to do with myself, so I'm filming. So that's kind of like where we're at right now. So it's a thing. What's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Today we're going to be talking about Shadows over Innistrad stuff. We're going to be talking all about blue cards in this video. And if you haven't seen my first video, check that out. I talk about white cards from the set, and yeah, so basically if you watch that video or if you didn't watch the video, whatever, I was kind of talking about how I wasn't exactly sure how to talk about the set because, like, I don't know how to talk about the cards. Should I be like, this card's good in X, Y, Z? I didn't really know. So I'm talking about them in terms of pre-release / draft purposes because I honestly have no idea if these cards are going to be used in Moderns. I don't know anything about Standard, Legacy, whatever. So I was like, let's just talk about draft and pre-release, which is probably like how, when these videos are out, when, they're going to be relevant to purpose. I don't know, this is just what I'm doing. So we're going to be talking about blue cards in this video. Of course, I'm not talking about every single blue card. That would be ridiculous. That would just take a really, really long time. But I did want to talk about some specific standout cards that I think are pretty sweet. So, yeah, let's start. The first card we're going to talk about is Engulf the Shore, and this is a really solid removal type cards. A lot of times people are very like concerned about like straight up removal cards, but bounce cards are really, really sweet. The fact that you return everything, sorry creatures, I'm doing really, really awfully right now. It's because I'm really hungry and I'm really unfocused. So yeah, like, you get to bounce a bunch of creatures equal to the number of islands you control. Really, really good card. Plus, it's instant speed, which is really sweet for 4 mana, so this card is, like, pretty sweet. All I can think of right now is just pizza. I just really want pizza. I'm just craving it so much. Okay, now we're gonna talk about Confirm Suspicions. Now, okay, cool. So 5 mana for a counterspell looks absolutely outrageous. It's like, that looks like a lot of mana, and you're right, it absolutely is a lot of mana. So here's the deal, is you're technically paying like 2 mana to counter target spell, which is pretty okay, and the fact that for 1 mana you get to investigate 3 times. So it's like, technically, it's 2 mana for a counter spell, and then each investigate thing is 1 mana that you pay for, which you can sack those to draw cards. So this card is pretty sweet. I really don't understand why it's a rare, and I feel like it shouldn't be a rare, but whatever, that's just me. There's a couple cards I look at and I'm like, this card should definitely not be a rare, but whatever. Now we talk about Epiphany at the Drown Yard, i.e. Factor Fiction, but like a sweet version of Factor Fiction because you tactic this any point of the game and you're like, cool, separate these like 11 cards or whatever. Oh my gosh, if you have 11 mana, wow, the game has been going on for a very, very long time. But say you do this for like 7 or whatever, which is just really, really sweet. The fact that you can get Delirium off pretty easily, you're going to be getting some value out of this card. This card is just really, really sweet. I like it a lot. Okay, cool. Now we're going to talk about Nephilia Moondrakes. And this is a really solid bomb for blue, I think, because first off, it's 7 mana for a 5/5 flyer. Alright, cool, that's pretty okay, right? But then, when it's the battlefield, you give something else flying. Now, flying is evasion, flying is amazing, flying is just, like, one of the best things ever, just really, really good. Especially in, like, draft. Like, do not underestimate how good flying is in, like, draft or, like sealed. Because a lot of times, they can have as many creatures as they want to, and you do not even care because you fly right over them. Flying is really amazing. So that's really sweet and all, and you're like, okay, cool, that's pretty okay, right? You give something else big flying. Okay, awesome, sweet. Now on top of that, it goes into your graveyard for 6 mana, you get to exile it, and then you just give your creatures flying. That seems really awesome, especially like if your opponent just can't even answer that and can't even like do anything about that. So yeah, this card is just really, really good. Cool. Now we're going to be talking about Thing in the Ice. And this card is really, really funny, and I've honestly thought about running it in Modern, I'm going to be completely honest here, because, okay, first off, it's a 0/4 for 2 mana defender. That's, like, pretty good. That's like a pretty solid wall, you're going to block a lot of stuff with this, which is really, really awesome. Okay, cool. Now, you're playing blue, and, assumingly you're splashing another color, you're going to be casting some instants and sorceries. So then you get this thing off, right? And then you transform it It's a 7/8 for 2 mana. That's, like, incredible. Like, can we just talk about this? Like, this card is insane. I am, like, so stoked for this card. Like, I honestly want to run this card in my Grixis control deck in Modern. I feel like I shouldn't because I feel like it's a bad idea, because I need to see how well this works, but okay. And then you get a 7/8, but then you just bounce everything. So what's really, really awesome with this thing is, like, say you like, get Thing in the Ice off, like, on your opponent's turn, and they're like, do my thing, and you're like, sweet, counter your thing, or, like, bounce a thing, or, like, whatever, like, bouncing would be awful, like, but say you counter something, and then you get this, and then you get a 7/8, and then you bounce their stuff, and then it goes to your turn, and then you swing with a 7/8. This card is so dumb. I love it. I love everything about this card. This is, like, super, super sweet. This just does everything. It's, like, a really, really big dude. You cast instant sorceries, which you do when you're playing blue. It's a big dude, and then you get to bounce stuff with the big dude. What? This card is incredible. This card is, like, amazing. I'm so stoked for this card. It's one of my favorite cards in the set. Flavor-wise, I just love everything about it. I think it's sweet. Cool. Now we're going to be talking about Reckless Scholar. Alright, so this card is really nothing fancy, especially compared to Thing in the Ice, which we just talked about. However, it's a looter. You draw, you discard. You get Delirium off of this, you get card advantage because who doesn't like drawing cards, and just, this card is sweet. Okay, so want to hear a really cool story about how I actually, like, cannot seriously think about this magic card, which is, Burton Researcher, which is, like, Delver of Secrets, like, long-lost cousin or something. But the fact is, whenever I think about this card, I always think about, my friend Justin runs Delver in Modern. He runs a Grixis Delver, it's one of his decks. And he loves Delver. Like, he loves Delver, and so we bicker back and forth all the time, and he's like, Tracy, your Grixis control deck is sweet, but you know what would make it better? Delver of Secrets. And I'm like, no, Justin, I'm not running Delver in my list. I'm not doing Grixis Delver. I'm sticking to Grixis control. And he makes fun of me all the time. And so when this card comes out, he's like, but how can Delver, or how can this card be perfected when Delver is already perfect in my eyes? So whenever I see this card, I actually can't take it seriously because I always think of that. But, yeah, I mean, this card's pretty great. I mean, first off, 3 mana for a 3/2 flyer, okay, that's pretty sweet. You know, you reveal your thing on top, it transforms for 4 mana, then it becomes a 5/4 flyer. People need to answer that. People can't chump block this for days because, you know, I mean, maybe they can, if so, that's really sweet, but it's a 5/4 flyer, they need to deal with that. This card is really, really good. I like it a lot. Cool. Now we're going to talk about Compelling Tyrians. And you know what, I was watching someone else's video and they were talking about these, like, the set, and really don't ever underestimate bounce cards. They're really, really good. They set your opponent back for a turn, and in that turn you can potentially kill them or, like, whatever. So this card is really, really sweet, and the fact that it's an online permanent is really good, so you can hit things other than creatures. You're probably going to be hitting creatures with this, but what if you need to bounce their enchantment or their artifact, or hopefully they're not playing equipments, because that's probably just not good, but actually that's a lie. There's that really good equipment. But yeah, what's really good about this too is that, what's really good about bouncing stuff in this set especially is, you have a lot of stuff that transforms in this set. So, like, if you, like, bounce something, then they have to, like, work to get their thing transformed again. So, that's, whoa, it's especially really good to bounce things in this set for that reason, compared to, like, other sets. And yeah, you know, discarding a card if you control a zombie, probably not the most relevant thing in the world. You really don't want them discarding cards, especially if they're playing a Delirium strategy. You really don't want that, but yeah, that card is, pretty good. Cool. Then we have Stormrider Spirit. Okay, so this is, like, if I were to express to you, like, what I want in a magic card, it'd probably look something like this, because it's 5 mana for a 3/3 flyer, with flash, which actually reminds me a lot of Ghostly Sentinel from, Origins, I think it was in, and I really, really love that card. I played that card all the time. That card was insane. So basically, it's a really nice blocker, it's a really nice thing to, you know, bring in for flash. Your opponent's like, ha man, I totally got you, and you're all like, block with my Flying Flash Spirit 3/3, that seems really awesome. This card is really sweet. I'm really, really stoked this isn't a common too. Like, I'm really trying to do this thing though where I don't play blue in draft as much because I played blue so much, but like, there's gonna be one time where I'm just gonna build the sweetest blue-white flyers deck. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's gonna happen. Like, one day I'm gonna talk about it, it's gonna be sweet. But yeah, this card is sweet. I like it a lot. Okay, cool. Now we have Sleep Paralysis. Now I keep hating on enchantments so much, Please don't think I hate enchantments. I'm just usually not a huge fan of them when it comes to limited, like, drafts and pre-releases. A lot of times they're just not super good. But, this card is sweet because it's just... It's 4 mana, which is kind of annoying because I keep thinking of like Claustrophobia, and that was 3 mana. This is like basically Claustrophobia. You tap something, which is great, and then it doesn't untap during their untap step. And what's really, really awesome about this card, though, is yes, it's 4 mana, but it's common, which is really sweet. But the really awesome thing about this card is that it taps it, because I keep thinking of a couple of cards where, from like Battle and Oath or whatever, where like the card would do something if the creature was tapped. Like, I can't even think of anything off the top of my head right now, but, like, something that would, like, you know, it's something like it doesn't tap during its controller's untap step, but, like, it didn't have the tap target creature part of it. I can't think of what cards I'm thinking of right now that do it, but, like, it would be really annoying because then they'd be like, oh, cool, I'll just have this as a sack outlet. But this is really awesome if they don't attack with it because they just summon it and you're like, you know, sleep paralysis or whatever. So this card is just really good. Cool. Alright, sweet. Now we talk about Just the Wind. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be talking about bounce cards now. Something that's really, really sweet is that you can actually use this on yourself. So if someone goes to kill your creature, you're like, huh, bounce my own creature. So just really pay attention to the fact that it says target creature to its owner's hand, not your opponent's, which is really good. So if someone goes to kill your thing, you're like, excuse me, I will bounce it back to my hand response. It's got madness for 1. That's amazing. That is really, really good. Bounce something for 1 mana at instant speed. This card is incredible. It is so good. Sweet. Okay, cool. Now we're going to be talking about Forgotten Creation. This reminds me of, like, Frankenstein, and that's, like, my favorite book. One of my favorite books, so. Okay, cool. 3 mana for a 3/3. Oh, sorry, 4 mana for a 3/3. Pretty okay. Then it's got Skulk. Okay, I like it. Then you have the option to discard your hand. So say you're all like, man, I really hate it when I top deck 4 lands in a row, discard them, draw juice. That seems sweet. I'm a fan of that. Do you like that? Because I like that. I think that sounds sweet. So yeah, this card is really, really sweet. Alright, now we're going to be talking about Jace. Now, I feel like a lot of people are cringing because they're like, oh, why is Jace getting another card? Whatever, but I don't know. I think he's really cool. I think for his +1 is amazing. It's like, yes, I would very, very much like to scry before I draw. Cringing because I have to run Serum Visions in Modern. But, like, you get to scry 1 and then you draw a card. His -2 is Bounce, which is reminiscent on Jace the Living Guild Pack. I think it's Jace the Living Guild Pack that bounces for 3 for his -3. And then, let's be real here, his ult, I mean, like, it's just really good. Like, so many people are like, Jace is meh. I think he's super sweet. I'm really excited for him. I feel like everyone's still all like, Jace Finn's Prodigy is so amazing. I'm one of those people who's like, I don't really see the hype with Jace Finn's Prodigy, but that's just me. Yeah, Jace, I think he's super sweet. I'm really excited, like, you know, for him to see, like, play or whatever. I don't know. I think it's sweet. Cool. The last card we're going to be talking about is Vessel of Paranoia. Or Paranesia, whatever. Okay, cool. So, like, this card is pretty okay. It's target player. Please note that. So, if you say, like, bounce something to the top of their deck, I feel like there's a card that does that and it's totally slipping me. You bounce something to the top of their deck and then they, like, have to mill it, which is really cool. And you get to draw a card out of it, which is really sweet. But you can also do this for yourself, which is, like, sweet for delirium purposes. This card is just pretty okay. You can do it on potentially turn 3, or you can set it up, you know, and do it whenever. So it's a pretty good, like, top deck late game. It helps you get delirium off, which is super sweet. Yeah, cool. Alright guys, that was it. Those were, some sweet blue cards that I want to talk to you guys about from Shadows over Innistrad. Let me know if you guys are stoked for this set. I'm really excited for this set. I think it's going to be really, really sweet. And there's a lot of really awesome things in here. And, yeah, let me know what you guys are looking out for in this set. What are some of your favorite cards? And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.